Hey, howdy, hey. Welcome to episode 2 of the Kungaloosh Club. I'm your host, David. Today is actually a Wednesday. It's not a weekend. It is Wednesday, July 29th. It's mid-afternoon. And I want to welcome everybody in. I think the last time I recorded the first episode of the Kungaloosh Club, our introduction, I forgot to, although my name's at the bottom of the screen, I forgot to say I'm your host, David. Again, this is all coming back to me, but I am your host, David. And again, it's a Wednesday, not my typical recording day, but I'll explain why. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in on YouTube to either listen to the podcast audio that goes out on YouTube, watching the video replay of this recording or that recording. And also just downloading the podcast and giving it a try. So always very appreciative of that, and I hope more people listen and more people join the Kungaloosh Club. But yeah, so it is a Wednesday, and I'm off today, off of work because my son had oral surgery. He actually had all 4 wisdom teeth pulled this morning. Pretty early. So now that he's comfortable and hanging out at home, and I figured I'm going to record this episode midweek as well, because this past weekend I did not record the second episode. We were celebrating my wife Kim's birthday. So she had a birthday recently, and we had a nice little get together on Saturday. And I knew I was not going to have the energy on Sunday after staying up late, and maybe having a couple adult libations, right? So we're here now doing this, and I also thought that a midweek episode would be good to get out, because we are actually not going to be available this coming weekend, So I think this will do it, and then it'll get me through maybe another week before I record what would be episode 3 of the Kungaloosh Club. And cheers! I'm drinking some mid-afternoon coffee out of my Mickey mug here. Do you guys like coffee? I love coffee. This is actually like my 4th cup today. I know that might be a little much, but I need my coffee, typically 3 cups a day. And one of the things I always find when we're away at Disney is reminding myself after the morning couple cups of coffee, get up, exercise, get a couple cups of coffee in, that I forget that mid-afternoon cup of coffee. So this past trip, Kim and I were really good at being like, we need some coffee. Let's head to a Starbucks or something and get something. I get a sweet treat as it goes. So we're going to dive into, because in episode 1, I talked about that we just had a recent trip, and we also spent somewhat of a day at Epic Universe, our first time there. So I figured I'd focus on that, because I said I would talk about that. And also, see what else comes our way. Maybe a little comparing of visiting Universal and Disney for people that aren't that common at visiting Universal or don't visit often. It's been a very long time since I've been there. So we could talk about that, and also start thinking about some future episodes of, the Kungaloosh Club. But before we do any of that, I thought that I would talk about our friends over at D Magic World. And if you're watching this on YouTube on a replay, or however, you're going to see the homepage for D Magic World, dmagicworld.com. I thought it would be pretty cool to just go through the site itself and show that instead of just some pictures. They've done a really good job, again, beefing up the site, and you can see that they have a home tab. There's many different ways to listen to dmagicworld.com. They have their own radio. It's also available on an app, which I've gotten on my phone, so I can listen to D Magic World on the go now as well, without even heading over to dmagicworld.com through the internet. There are also park wait times that have been added by Jasper. And it's not just U.S. parks; it's Disneyland Paris and the parks in Asia. So that is really cool. There's a search function. There is a tab that takes you to our Facebook group. Now that's Disney. If you wanted to, you can also get in touch with D Magic World, and you can then scroll down and listen live, or you can again check out the wait times. But you can request a song. So, again, if you're a fan of Disney music and Disney parks music, you put the request in, it's going to get played. Jasper's not messing around over there, so it'll come on eventually. And I think that's a really cool feature too, because you're part of the music, you're part of the show there. So go check out dmagicworld.com today. All right, now let me stop sharing my screen here. There we go. All right, cool. And let's start talking about Epic Universe and going from staying on property at Walt Disney World. Again, we stayed at the Polynesian Resort, and then we didn't stay at Epic Universe. We Ubered over. So and we got there fairly early. My son, again, Colton, really wanted to go see Super Nintendo World. He's seen some vloggers and or people that he knows in the music industry from listening to their music and seeing them visit Epic Universe. So Universal Epic Universe is the newer Universal Park in Orlando, Florida. And it's been open, I guess, somewhere around 13, 14 months. So still fairly new here. And they have 4 different lands or portals other than when you first get into Epic Universe, they have something called Celestial Park. There's also the Ministry of Magic, which is the Harry Potter themed land. There is Dark Universe, which is all the original really cool, monsters like the werewolf, Dracula, etc. There is an Isle of Berk, which is How to Train Your Dragon. And then there is a another land. And why am I forgetting it? So, yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, I thought I missed one there. So Harry Potter, monsters, How to Train Your Dragon, and Super Nintendo World. And then again, you're coming into Celestial Park. So let me just talk about, we got our tickets for Universal, and I also went online just like I would for Disney and requested their version of, like, Disney has the Disability Access Service Pass, or the DAS, which is for people with cognitive disabilities. Again, our son is on the spectrum, so we've been applying for that at Disney, and the process has gotten a lot more streamlined. I have not had any issues at all. The process has been really quick in the past couple of years of getting to a cast member online, talking about our needs and doing that. With Universal, it's a little different because they use an outside third-party company that facilitates the need. But I was able to, figure all that out and upload some documents, which Disney doesn't do. Universal has an upload thing in this app that you can upload some documents, and I did. That kind of just shows diagnosis type stuff. So, after submitting that, I got some emails back that, Colton was approved for their version of the Disability Pass, and that somebody would reach out a couple days before our trip to discuss our needs more in depth, which did happen. Again, we were staying on site at the Polynesian Resort. And I I got a call while I was in the Great Ceremonial House of the Polynesian from the Universal team. Mm, good coffee here. And the woman I was speaking to, um, it 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 didn't go that well. The conversation, you know, she was talking about what our needs were, and as I was expressing those needs, she seemed to be kind of not fighting me, but arguing back that you still have to wait with their version of the disability pass. And I understand that. So it's not like Disney where you go right in the app, you get a return time, and you go to that attraction at that return time, and then go through the lightning lane. With Universal, say the ride is an hour wait, it might shorten the length of that, they said, but you could still be waiting a half hour to an hour, just for example. So she's explaining all this to me, and she's like, "How can we help you?" And I explained, our son's needs and how they could help us, and then she would then tell me again how the pass works. And this went on a few times, and I finally said, "He's approved for the pass, so I don't understand why we're going back and forth on this conversation. He's already approved, so are you denying the pass now?" And she was like, "No, but he's still going to wait." And I had had enough of that conversation. I thought it was not going anywhere. So I ended the conversation and then spoke to somebody the very next day who was very apologetic about how the previous conversation went and was way more understanding. So anyway, leading up to our trip, so that was a couple days in advance. We visited on a Sunday. It was June 30th, this past June 30th, 2026. And again, I think the park opened at 8:30 for people staying on property, 9 o'clock for people that weren't. So we got there, at park opening. And we still had to get to the will call window, number one, to get our tickets, because I went to a travel agent to just secure the tickets. And I had to go there. And then we also then had to go back in line and wait to speak to somebody again to link up the disability pass to the app that I had downloaded for Epic Universe. So they have their own app, which is cool. And the app was good. I mean, you have to learn the app, right? But when you're used to Disney, everything's new. But I felt the app had a good interface and was I could navigate it fairly well. So we did all that. And then you exit and you go through where they kind of scan you, and they also do face recognition at Universal, which some people might be against, but I thought that it was a really cool system in the terms of, soon as it scans your face the first time, all the other areas that this would occur, it's now matching your face. And so you kind of just once you do that, and the next time you go on an attraction or something and it scans your face, that worked really well. And so we're now entering the first area, or the first portal, what they call Celestial Park, which is absolutely stunning. And let me go back to where the Uber dropped us off. Even walking up to the entrance and all that, the music is really, really nice, so they have a nice soundtrack going in the background, just like, at Disney, they have really inspirational music in the back. Universal Epic Universe had very cool music playing in the background, so it sets the tone. And then you're walking in and you get into Celestial Park, and it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, the theming at Epic Universe is insane. They spent a pretty penny on their theming, and just how everything looks. So we were kind of blown away by that, thought it was really cool, and you come up and then you can go down into the area where the carousel is and all the rides that are in Celestial Park. So there are several things to do in Celestial Park before you even hit the other portals. There's attractions, and there's dining, and there's bars. But the one thing I started noticing was what I already knew, was lack of shade, that are people are contributing to the fact that the foliage is still very young and hasn't grown in, hasn't had a chance to I guess, start to provide shade. But I'm not sure, even when that's all done, how much shade you're going to get out of all of this. So we're walking in, and it's Florida and it's summer and it's hot already in the morning. And I'm noticing there's not a lot of I guess, like team members, right? Disney's cast members. Universal has a different word, so I'll call them team members. Not a lot of team members because there's not a lot of shade. And I'm assuming either they expect you to just figure things out on your own, which when you're at Disney, that doesn't happen. There's cast members everywhere to direct you. Direction's very clear. The instructions are very clear. Here, it was kind of like a free-for-all. You can just kind of find your way around through things and figure it out on your own. And again, nowhere for somebody to stand that would provide shade. This continued, through some of the areas of Epic Universe. So, we got in, and again, we're still kind of in awe of like all of the things going on. We're taking pictures, and Kim even looked at me. She's like, "Wow, this is really beautiful," and she's not easily impressed, by a theme park. So, we were excited to get our day going and get into Super Nintendo World, but several of the team members told us, don't rush in there because the lines for the attractions in Super Nintendo World are going to be insane. So why don't you wait a little bit and go take in some other things? And then let me just tell you, in Celestial Park, there's a ride called Stardust Racers. We did not do. That's a roller coaster. It's a little intense, and we were not going to do that. In Celestial Park, there's something called the Constellation Carousel, which we did wind up doing a little later on in the day. But we decided to take the advice of some of the team members, and we went into Dark Universe, again, the land where the original monsters are. And again, theming, incredible, over the top, awesome. The land itself, once you get through the portal, was kind of tight, narrow. This isn't like walking through Magic Kingdom and getting into a land like Frontierland where it's kind of spread out and there's a decent amount of space. This was pretty tight. And we said, let's go. The wait for Monsters Unchained was not long, and we started using the disability pass and trying to reserve wait time and figure things out. We didn't get their max pass. We didn't do that. We figured we'd wait out a couple rides if we couldn't get them with the with their disability pass. So we did head to Monsters Unchained, which it was incredible. Again, the land was themed really well. The attraction queue was themed really well, and the ride itself was insane. It was awesome. I would put it up there with one of my favorite rides now. That if I'm comparing it to my favorite rides at Disney, which say like Avatar Flight of Passage, just the whole experience was really neat. We all loved it. And, we were a little afraid because, we've never been there, and we don't go on crazy rides, like crazy roller coasters, but this was definitely doable. You load into this sitting area that is on like an arm, and it has the ability to move you around and then tilt you so that you're on your back. But it doesn't spin really fast. And at no time did I get vertigo. Or I can get vertigo if I'm spinning or doing something like a sudden drop. At no time did I feel any issues with Monsters Unchained. It was awesome. Came out of there, we grabbed one of their pretzels. It's a Frankenstein, the monster shaped. It's his face, which is really cool. But the pretzel itself, again, it's. Let me tell you, it's not a Mickey pretzel. It didn't taste that good. The three of us all had some. Even with the cheese sauce that we got with it, to us, again, this is just our experience and our description. But and let me come up with a new judging scale here, or a rating scale of like an item. So we're going to use the Kungaloosh Club and say out of 5 Kungalooshes, the pretzel was, I would say, a 2. So 2 Kungalooshes out of 5. Okay. So that'll be our new rating scale here on the show. We'll establish that. 1 out of 5 Kungalooshes. The Frankenstein the Monster pretzel probably gets it 2. Now, what did we do? So we're looking at other wait times, and we noticed that in Ministry of Magic, the Harry Potter area, the battle at the Ministry is down. We're also noticing that either one or both of the rides in Super Nintendo World, which is Minecart Madness and Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, are both seem to be up or down at different points. So we went into Super Nintendo World, and it is incredible and a sensory overload all at the same time. You're walking into it once you come through the portal. If you take the escalator or the elevator or whatever, and you get in there on the second floor, it is basically a square with 0 shade at all. It's like being in the game, but there's no shade. There's nothing. You're baking in the sun. And the sensory is a lot. I was pretty much on overload. Colton did okay with it. You know, we had gotten him a power-up band, but, you know, he did a couple things, but it was super crowded and didn't seem all that interested in kind of hitting blocks after the first couple times, or doing some of the other challenges through the land. But the band itself is cool, and you can collect points in the app, the Epic Universe app. And, you know, we looked around. We went into the stores. We looked at the dining locations. There is a Mario and Luigi meet and greet, which people lined up for way before the characters came out, and the wait was extremely long. So we were trying to move around and went to go. We reserved through the disability pass. We reserved the Minecart Madness. We reserved Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. We did not do Yoshi's Adventure because it was, again, very hot, and that thing, you're in the sun a long time, and it's a slow moving little ride. So we weren't going to sit there and bake in the sun for something that seemed to be for younger children. Really cute, but we did then go over to Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, and it was down. So we got a return time, and speaking with the team member, I was very confused the way it worked. The way it was described to me was you can now pick something else, but I was confused on whether or not we can come back to that as well. And this is where I think the difference in the team members and cast members. Again, very clear instruction at Disney. The team members at Epic Universe in the areas that we went through seemed to be not giving very clear instruction, or too busy speaking to each other to then provide clear instruction, and not in an unpolite manner, just in a different tone or manner than you, I guess, be used to at Disney. So we had to leave, and now we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. We wanted to go do Minecart Madness and couldn't do that because that was down. Again, look back in the app, and Ministry of Battle at the Ministry is still down. So we then went back into Celestial Park and rode the carousel, which was cute, but they asked us how we wanted to ride, and Kim and I said we'd ride together, Colton on his own, and then they split us up like in totally different areas of like the waiting queue. And then when it was our turn to ride, they had asked Colton what kind of creature he wanted to ride on, but then when it came time to ride, they don't assign you to one. They're just like, go grab any of it. So it's kind of like discombobulated and people just running all over to get to the creature they want. So I don't know why they asked up front if they're not going to assign one specific to you. So then Kim and I got on our creature and started, strapping in our seatbelt, and Colton was still looking for one. And there's like no team members giving guidance or helping, and then he finally found one and he fidgeted with his seatbelt and couldn't really do it. And then finally someone came over and helped, but it wasn't the level of care again that I would expect from a cast member at Disney. You would get that attention much faster. And, the carousel went and it was cute. I think it'll probably be a lot better at nighttime when it's lit up. So it's probably a better visual than it was during the day. It was just meh. So now we were hungry because, now a couple hours had passed and we wanted to have lunch. Our plan was to go over to Oak and Star Tavern the whole time to have lunch because we looked at the menu and there were burgers and, there was hand food, barbecue, and we figured that would probably be the best place that everyone could find something to eat. Ordered our food, sat down, and the food arrived. They did have a band playing in one section of Oak and Star Tavern, which was pretty cool, extremely loud, for a midday thing. If you're just looking to get a bite to eat. But I did think it was pretty cool that they had a separate section with a bar where you can go listen to music. Food arrives, and let's again say very underwhelming. Not the best theme park quick service food. I got a burger. Colton got a burger. Kim got some sort of diety friendly type thing. I don't even remember what you got. I can tell you that my burger was probably under 2 Kungalooshes. Let's say maybe even 1.7, 1.8 Kungalooshes. Colton just said meh to his burger. And that was it. I had a beer. I enjoyed my beer. And we left Oak and Star Tavern. Very underwhelming food that we had. Maybe other choices there or better. I wasn't blown away by it at all. But a cool place indeed. Again, theming, a lot of money spent in theming in Universal Epic Universe. And I think more money should have been put into attention of other details versus just the theming. But it seems that they've blown their budget on theming. A little more coffee here. So then we, again, wanted to go see what was available, see if the ride back in Super Nintendo World was available. Checking the app Ministry of Magic, and the Battle of Ministry and the Ministry of Magic was still down, which was down the entire time that we were at Epic Universe. At no time did we ever go into the Harry Potter Battle at the Ministry portion of the land because we felt there was no need if the ride was down. None of us are really into Harry Potter all that much, although it's very cool. I'm not knocking it. It's just not something that our house consumes and is like in love with enough to just go want to see the land or wait for a show and not be able to ride that ride. We did go back into Super Nintendo World. We rode Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. Again, not a lot of direction given. There's different portions of a headset that you have to wear. Very little directions. What you're getting when you're handed a piece, how to assemble it or attach it. And then once you get into the car, there's another piece that you have to put on. The ride was just okay. There's no instructions really other than some computers with animated images on it telling you how to play the game. There's nobody there kind of instructing you. I think Kim and Colton didn't even know that there were buttons on the side of the thing they were holding that they can then shoot like the turtle shells at things. So the ride was okay. It was not what we expected for the level of what we heard the attractions would be at Epic Universe. Monsters Unchained, out of the rides that we did, was the best. Wanted to go do Minecart Madness in the Donkey Kong portion of Super Nintendo World. Went over there. That was down. Walked around for a bit. And again, Ministry, Battle at the Ministry still down, so couldn't leave and go do that, or didn't want to leave and go do that. At no time did we go into Isle of Berk, the How to Train Your Dragon land. Again, I like the movie, the original animated version of How to Train Your Dragon. Kim and Colton not into it. There was no need. They weren't interested in really riding those rides. Our focus for that day was going to be Super Nintendo World Monsters, and then hopefully get on Battle of the Ministry. But eventually Minecart Madness opened up. We rode that, and I would put that right in line with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Magic Kingdom in terms of the ride is cool. Even using the disability pass there, again, we did wait a fair amount of time. So don't expect, if you sign up for this disability pass in Universal Epic Universe, that it's going to be just like it is at Disney World. It is totally not. So we waited. We waited a decent amount of time online, but got on the ride. And the theming of the ride, pretty cool. The ride itself, cool. Duration of the ride, short. I'm not sure the exact amount of time the ride is. And again, I would compare that to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in duration. So it could, for me, it could have been a little bit longer, but I know that it's a theme park and they want to get people in and out, or through these attraction queues and on the ride and out. So at this point, it is baking. We're very hot. Battle of the Ministry still down, and we made a family decision. It was about 3 p.m. at this point. So we got there at 9 and we were there till 3, which is a long park day for us. We do not, when we're at Disney, we do not rope drop to close. We are not those people. We will go to the park in the morning. We will leave. We will swim. We will shop. We will break, eat, go back at night, or go at night and just hang out during the day. So we left at 3 p.m. At that point, we figured we're not going to just wait around for Battle at the Ministry to open. We couldn't really take the heat anymore with the lack of shade. And walking again through the park, I don't blame the Universal team members for maybe not being so visible because there's nowhere to stand. Just even like a simple umbrella providing some shade for somebody to stand who's going to be helping people. There was nothing there. So we bolted and we went back to the Polynesian and went to our room, put on our bathing suits, and immediately dove into the pool to cool down. So that was our day at Universal Epic Universe. I could say I'm in no rush to go back to Epic Universe. Aside from the theming, I wasn't really impressed with anything that's going to draw me back there. It is, I think, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are into Epic Universe and like, you know, that aren't just into the other Universal parks in Orlando, that really enjoy it. And I think that if we went at a different time of the year where it wasn't as hot, we would have had more time to enjoy it, or not wanted to leave at the time that we left. We just couldn't take it anymore. I mean, it was, we felt like we were burning. Where again, when you're at Disney, this feels like there's more opportunity for places to break and places to get shade, places to sit. They had benches at Epic Universe. There's nobody sitting on them. They're out in the open, totally exposed. So we left and we went back. But I would go back, I think, if it was a different time of year with different temperatures and, you know, hopefully try to get into the other portals and see those, because I mean, I would put the theming of the park and the portals and all the areas right on par with Disney. It's pretty insane. And again, the music, inspirational, you know, so I can get why people are drawn to it. But not really for us. We're Disney people, which is why I run a Facebook group. Now that's Disney, which is why I'm doing this podcast. I used to do a live show. We're Disney people. So I focus mainly around Disney and Disney topics. But if there's Universal news or other theme park news, I'm going to talk about it here. I mean, I always need stuff to talk about, right? There's how much, you know, there's not always something fun or interesting happening or coming out of the world of Disney. I do want to, ask your help. If you're a listener, you're a viewer, you're a part of Now That's Disney, I would like for you to reach out to me and give me your ideas for future shows, for future Kungaloosh Club episodes. Give me topics, because I'm always looking for fun, interesting topics. And we're going to revisit some of the topics that we did from the Disney Night Live show, because we had some fun discussions on there, and a lot of good topics and ideas. And so, with the Kungaloosh Club, I'm sure we're going to attract new viewers, new listeners, and then also have some folks that are a part of Now That's Disney and who used to take in Disney Night Live. So I think we can revisit some of the catalog of ideas, but I want new ideas. I definitely want to get into the other parks that are not in the U.S., so non-U.S. based Disney locations, what they have to offer. I know that for me, I would love to see Tokyo Disney Sea. So Tokyo Disneyland probably would be outside of the U.S., not including Aulani Resort, because it's not a theme park, it's a resort. Tokyo Disneyland would be my outside of the U.S. Visit, bucket list visit. Aulani definitely for a chill, relaxing vacation. I've never been to Hawaii. I would love to go to Hawaii. Not just visit, the Aulani Resort, but also some of the other islands there and take that in, because it looks absolutely breathtaking. So I would love to do that. That's a future bucket list stay and a topic of what Aulani has to offer. We could also dive into the history of the Adventurers Club and seize and the meaning behind that, and how that the Adventurers Club played a role at Downtown Disney, which is now Disney Springs. So we could talk about that and some history on different items that are interesting Disney history, and of course upcoming news that we're unaware of. I also think it might be interesting to go back. I mean, we're 6 years past COVID, and kind of recount the steps of, how it happened and what like Disney World did with the closing and the different steps and some of the items that never returned. When COVID was totally, finished and it was safe to head back to Disney World, but some of the items that Disney did not bring back for their guests. But to kind of go through the timeline there of, when it was announced, what they were doing, the closings, the reopenings, the, wearing a mask here, not wearing a mask there. And so how they worked it. And then the change of the Lightning Lane to the Genie Plus, and then now where we are right now with the Lightning Lanes and how that kind of progressed through all of that. Things like room service not being offered at Disney World resorts other than Grand Floridian. So, again, a lot of different things that we can get into. I'd also like to hear what you thought about our Kungaloosh Club theme song that I created recently. And also, maybe just show you around some of the artwork I've been handling here for the Kungaloosh Club. Obviously, if you're listening on the podcast, you cannot see it, but I came up with some cool artwork here. I think that serves the show well, and that'll be our artwork going forward for the time being. So pretty cool. And again, we're the Kungaloosh Club, the brand new podcast, brand new show on YouTube, but we're available on other social media outlets, available where all podcasts can be downloaded and listened to. And we'd love if you would continue listening and continue being part of the Kungaloosh Club. And just come be a part of the Ohana here. So again, welcome to the Kungaloosh Club, and we will take you out again with our new theme song, to end the show here. And we will also see you in the very near future for episode 3. And I hope that everybody has a great week and weekend ahead. And Kungaloosh, cheers to everyone.